Okay, and yes, in progress. Got it. Okay. Yeah, this time, but yeah. Okay. Morning, everyone, and good morning, dear class. Today we are very pleased we are sharing our understanding of testing as well as some type of testing. Um, Testing is very important and play very significant role in helping us assess how far we how effective our teaching is and how far students get their inputs from our course and also the program. So today I and Jesna will share you the content of testing and also some types of tests. So before going to the whole content, so let Jesna share you all about her content. Okay, Jesna, you can turn to the next slide. Okay.
Okay, the first presentations by me about teaching and testing. There are consists of backwards, why inaccurate tests, and the need for tests. Backwards. The definition of backwards is the effect of testing on teaching and learning. Backwards can be harmful or beneficial if a test is regarded as important. Then preparations for it can come to dominate all teaching and learning activities. And if the test content and testing techniques are at variance with the objective of the course, then there is likely to be harmful backwards. Next, inaccurate tests. Language abilities are not easy to measure. We cannot expect a level of accuracy comparable to those of measurements in the physical sciences. Uh, why are tests inaccurate? There are two main sources of inaccurate. The first is test content and techniques. When testing is carried out on a very large scale, when the scoring of tens of thousands of compositions might seem not to be a practical proposition, it is understandable that potentially greater accuracy is sacrificed for reason of economy and convenience. And the second is a lack of reliability. A test reliable if it measures consistently. On a reliable test, you can be so confident that someone will get more or less the same score, whether they happen to take it on one particular day or on the next. And next about the need for tests. Information about people's language ability is often very useful and sometimes necessary. The first is to give a statement of what they have achieved in a second or foreign language. And the second is to provide information about the achievements of groups of learners to see how rational educational decisions can be made. Okay, I think that's all for me. Continue by Sofan. Let me sure. Unmute your voice, Sofan.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jesna, for your presentation and your coordination. So right now, let me share my point regarding the types of tests and so the testing. So it is important to know different types of tests that we can apply different purpose of our, our purpose of understanding tests and what we want to know the how to test student with different aim. And here normally we see, different pair of tests. Just like the term um, direct, direct testing and indirect testing, or criterion reference testing with the norm reference testing, and also the discrete point with the integrative testing, as well as the objective and subjective testing. Okay, next, and we also learn, some part of testing, different types of testing, just like in next slide. And next slide, you can see the different more tab, just like a proficiency test. So proficiency test, um, we test student the proficiency, the ability of language. Normally proficiency test, we test all types of skill, right? Of for macro skill. If you understand all skill in language, uh, so we can use a proficiency test to test that ability. And another one, we have achievement test. So achievement test, we apply it in, at the end of the course, or at the end of the program, to check at, yeah, to check whether or not students achieve what we aim to provide them. Yeah, can be language input, can be skill, knowledge, and attitude, maybe develop or receive from the program or the course. Okay. And another one is diagnostic, right? Diagnostic test, we just test to check the strength and weakness of the student. Right? And another one is placement test. So placement test, we test students to place them in the right level to their own understanding. It is important to place students in the right level, because they can start at the same point, right? In the group. So, for example, if you have uh, different level of program, and then we have to place student, test student to put them in the right place. We make sure that we care about their existing knowledge. Next. Yeah. Another pair is direct and indirect testing. So direct test, normally we ask them to perform directly what we want to know about their ability. For example, if we want to know about their composition, yeah, in writing, so just ask them to take to test them how to write, how to compose in writing, and that is very directive. And normally, direct testing, we test the productive skill. For example, can be speaking, not only writing, but speaking and writing is productive skill. So we can test it directly to check the performance, to check the ability. Right? And another one, indirective. So indirective, we can test different skill, not only, but not directly. Right? It just indirectly, just not focus on what we interest in the subject matter of the test. Okay, next. And another pair, we can see discrete point testing and integrative. Right? For discrete point testing, it is a kind of test that we only test one element at a time, or yeah, one item at a time. For example, if we want to know about the ability regarding to grammar, we just test grammar at a time. And if we want to know their ability about vocabulary, we just test only vocabulary at a time, right? For 1 hour, or for one process of testing. But in contrast to discrete point, so we have integrative testing, which means we test a lot of items at the same time. For example, we can test, we can design a test, include, grammar, include reading and other skill in one test, and then test at once, right? Okay, next. Right, another one, very popular test that we normally hear. It's about norm reference and criterion reference testing. So norm reference, we normally test, testability again, another test data, test in order to compare and which one is better. And in any test data, for example, you teach two classes and you want to measure which group is better, and you test group one group to again another group, right? It's like group A and group B, or school A, school B, or can be private and public school. You have to test in that with that purpose. But in Croatian reference is a test that we want to test to understand and set up curriculum. It can be it is a kind of test that we want to understand whether or not students uh, understand after giving instruction, after giving a lecture. So we have to test before and after giving instruction, or after the lecture. Yeah, before and after the lecture, to compare whether or not the student achieve what we instruct, what we provide lecture. Okay, so next. Yeah, another pair, objective and subjective testing. Objective testing normally, focus on test taker. So it is meaningful when we focus on when test taker, many test taker participate in the process of testing, and no judgment required from a scorer. And but if the test is subjective, so the test is meaningful when different scorer, at least two different scorers participate in the test, and we yeah, and the scoring is very subjective. Okay, so this is the difference of this point. Okay, so next, yeah, I think this is the last slide. We we have another types of tests that we call communicative language testing, and we can understand it deeply by seeing the word communicative and verbal language, right? So we apply the ability of using language in communication. So, but not only testing how you can you communicate, but we also look at the ability of reading, the ability of listening. To make sure a good communicator need to be to become a good listener as well. So it can reinforce the process of communication better in the flow of communication. Right. So thank you so much. It is the last point of our presentation. Okay. Good luck. Right. Okay. You can end the recording and